Today I'm going to talk about a story called The Inquisitor's Tale, or the three magical children, and their holy dog. Now this book was a Newbery Honor of 2017. It is, as you can see, a little bit bigger than the ones we usually talk about. It is 384 pages. It was written by Adam Gidwitz and illustrated, or as the book likes to refer to it as, illuminated by Hayden Ali. So what it means about illuminated is it talks about it at the very beginning of the book, and it says that in a lot of medieval texts that there were doodles or drawings along the margins of the book, and that they may go along with the story or they might contradict it. So some of them are just random doodlings. Some of them, like the one here, shows William, who's one of the characters in this story, and it says that he's an 11-year-old boy, but that he was much taller than all the adults around him. So I'm assuming this would be the adults, and this would be William. And so throughout the entire book, there's just little doodles along the side, just tiny little drawings here and there. Some pages have more than others. This one's got a picture, some pictures of the dog. There was a dog in this story that plays a big part, and others just show some scenery, like in this one here. The story tells it about a person who goes into an inn, and they are looking for these three children and their holy dog. And in the reason they're looking for them is that the king is looking for these children. They are wanted. I haven't finished the book, so I don't know what they're wanted for, but I'm excited to find out. My daughter and I are reading it together now. So he just happens to stumble upon a variety of people who all happen to be in the inn, and they all have a perspective or a part of the story about one or more of these special children. And so they tell the story like if we were all sitting together. And in parts of the story, like in parts of a story when you tell one, somebody might interrupt. They might stop the story that you're telling to interject, to ask questions, to tell their own story. And so what's really neat about this book is that in parts of it, it shows that they're telling the story, and then there's a line, and the text becomes bold. And that's where somebody has interrupted the story. One of the bystanders, one of the people sitting at the table in the inn, and they have questions, or they want to say something, or they show their disbelief. And so then that part continued over to here, and then the story carries on. And each chapter of the story of this book is told by a different character. So one chapter is told by the nun, and then there's a barkeep that tells part of the story, and there's the librarian from the monastery who tells part of the story, and they just take turns, so each chapter is their part of the story. Its recommended ages were from 10 to 14, and I think the reason for that is that some of the content is a little bit violent, not extremely violent, but it does talk about blood, and at one part he smashes somebody's head, and it was a little graphic. But I think that with mature audiences, or if you decide that your child or student is mature enough to hear the story and accept that content, then it would be appropriate. My 9-year-old daughter, for example, is very interested in the story, and I think she's mature enough to handle the content. But anyways, that was my story. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.